Hi everybody, it's Karen Shepley here, and in the session right now I'm going to bring you through some core conditioning exercises and then some yoga poses and then some therapy ball exercises. And all of these exercises are designed for endurance athletes, and it would be great if we could do, a half hour of core conditioning several times a week, or full hour yoga classes and therapy ball sessions, but as we all know, that it's hard to fit it all in. So what I've done is I've taken the main exercises that will keep you injury free, and I've put them together in this short session. And you can use this when you don't have time to do a more extended yoga class or stretching class or therapy ball session. So I hope you enjoy this, and let's begin. Okay, so we're going to start with core conditioning exercises. To get ourselves a little bit warmed up, we're going to start with just some basic crunches. Okay, so I want you to lay back on your mat. Take your hands behind your head, keep your knees bent, but make sure you're supporting your head with your hands. And then we're just going to do some basic crunches. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then to increase the warm-up, we're going to add our legs so that we engage the lower abdominals as well. So let's do that now. We'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So now you should feel your abdominals engaged and warmed up. From here, I want you to come to a sitting position. The core conditioning exercise that I like to do most with endurance athletes is one that focuses on the obliques, which come around the sides, because a lot of time when we're training or racing, we tend to have some lateral movement, and that's very inefficient. So we want to strengthen our core to prevent that lateral movement by doing oblique strengthening. So for the first exercise, I want you to lean back until you feel those abdominals engage. You can put your hands together in front of your chest, and then we're going to twist side to side. So we're going to twist, come back to center, and twist, come back to center. We'll do 9, 8 more, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take a break. So hopefully you can feel the abdominals, in particular the obliques, working in this exercise. So now we're going to do the same one, but make it a little harder. So again, lean back till you feel the abdominals engage, hands in front of your chest, and I want you to lift the heels off the ground. Now we'll start twisting again. We'll do 10 sets, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit up and take a break. The next exercise incorporates the lower and upper abdominal muscles, And then we'll change it a little bit and get those obliques involved as well. So this core exercise is called bird cages. And you start off by straightening out your legs, laying back, and then reaching your arms over your head. Now you want to lead with the upper body and the arms, and then tuck your knees in. And then with control, come back to lying down position. Okay, we'll do 10 total, so we'll do 9 more of these. Okay, so 9, and down, and 8, and down, 7, down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now, to include the obliques, we're just going to add a little twist. Okay, so we come up, both arms go to one side, and down. Come up, both arms go to one side, and down. That's 8. If we're counting down, 7, and down, 6, and down, 5, down, 4, and down, 3, down, 2, and down, last 1, and down. And hopefully you can feel that in your obliques. And now we're going to work on our deeper abdominal muscles. And those are the ones that really keep you strong. Okay, the ones we just worked on help keep your body stable while your arms and legs are moving, but these really keep your core a lot more strong. They're your rectus abdominis, your deeper core muscles. Okay, and how we strengthen those is using planks. All right, so let's flip over. Placing your hands underneath the shoulders. Okay, curl the toes under and come up into a nice plank position. Making sure your hips aren't too high or too low. And from here, we're going to add movement. I want you to switch your weight from hand to hand and do a little shoulder tap. So that's 1 set. We'll do 10 total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. So when we shift from side to side, we're creating instability and making our core work in a more functional way. We can increase the intensity on this by doing shoulder alternating. We can increase the intensity. We can increase the intensity. We can increase the intensity of this side-to-side plank motion by starting with elbow planks and coming up to full planks and then coming down. We'll do 10 sets of those. All right, so let's come down onto our forearms, our elbows, making sure the hips aren't too high or too low. And then we come up onto the hands. Good, and that's 1. And then reverse the direction every time you come up and down. So that's 2. And that's 3. And that's 4. And that's 10 total. And that's 6. And that's 7. And that's 8. And that's 9. And last one. How'd that feel? Take a break with a little child's pose. When you do this child's pose, try to bring your knees right together, and that's a good counter pose for any stress you might be feeling in your back. Good. And then from here, we're just going to finish off with a little back strengthening to balance out the core strengthening that we just did. So I want you to come down onto your stomach. Stretch your arms out in front. And all we're doing is lifting our arms and legs. Okay, so lifting, hold, and down. We'll do 10 total. 9, hold, down, 8, hold, down, 7, hold, down, 6, don't rush it, and down, 5, and down, 4, and down, 3, and down, 2, and down, last one, and down. Now, this is great because you're using your back muscles while your arms and legs are moving. So we're going to finish off with one more little variation to that last exercise, okay? And it's called swimming. All right, so lifting your arms and legs, and then we just flutter the arms and legs for 10 counts total. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And down we go, and back into child's pose. And now we are going to start some yoga poses. If there's a type of yoga pose that's the best for endurance athletes, it's balancing poses. So we're going to start by placing our feet about hip distance apart. We can take the arms out to the sides, palms facing up, connecting the thumbs and the index fingers. This helps you concentrate from a yoga point of view. All right, and all we're going to do is we're going to lift up onto the toes, hold for a moment, and come back down. We'll do 10 total. So 9, and down, and 8, and down, 7, down, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now that may not seem too hard, but what you're actually doing is you're strengthening from the feet, the ankles, the shins, the hips, and the core, all the way up. And we're going to make it a little bit harder though by switching to one foot at a time. And what you might see is there's a big difference in your balance on your one side versus your other side. So let's see how that goes. So shift your weight to the left foot, hands out, thumbs and index fingers together. So let's try 10 of these. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How do you do on that side? Let's compare to the other side. Shift your weight to the right foot, hands out, and let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Was one side different than the other? In a lot of cases it is, and you really want to work to even the two sides up. Let's do another balancing pose, but incorporate a little bit of hip stabilizing strength as well. Our hip stabilizers are our gluteus medius muscles located on the outsides of our hips here. So we're going to shift our weight to our left foot and take the right leg out to the side. You can bring the arms out to the sides as well. Once you've got your balance, I want you to do a side leg lift with that right leg. So let's do 10, nice and slow, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. Coming on to 2 feet, shifting weight to the right foot, left leg out to the side, arms up and out. Let's do those leg lifts again with the left side. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So how was your balance on one side versus the other? How were the leg lifts on one side versus the other? So not tough poses, but really good in terms of strengthening and balancing your sides out. Some people don't even know that they have these imbalances from side to side. So those poses are really good to illustrate that. And now for the next pose, we're going to come back down to the mat. Again, we're working on hip stability in this next pose. So it's called gate pose, or a variation of gate pose. And you want to come onto your knees, shift your weight to your right knee, extend your left leg out to the side. And then we're going to come down onto our right hand, okay? And then shift our weight into the hand as we lift that left leg up. Left arm can come up towards the sky, and try to lift that left leg, keeping it parallel to the ground. So you'll again feel those gluteus medius muscles on the side of the hip. But in this pose, both gluteus medius muscles have to work. All right, one to keep you stable in the position and the other to do the leg lifts. So let's try 10 leg lifts. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's hold the last one up. Hold it. Can you feel it? Just keep breathing. And relax, coming down onto both knees. So come up onto your knees. Shift your weight onto the left knee and extend the right leg out to the side. Arms come up and out, and then come down onto your left hand. Right arm reaches up, right leg lifts. Okay, and we're going to do 10 repetitions, okay? So lifting the leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's hold it one last one, nice and high, leg parallel to the ground if you can. Just keep holding a little bit longer, you can do it. And come down onto both knees. Switching sides now. Let's come onto your right knee, or extending the left leg, left arm reaches up towards the sky, and then we lift that left leg up parallel to the ground. You probably can feel it already, and then we do our leg lifts for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then hold one more up nice and high and parallel to the ground. Really feeling those glutes, aren't we? So just breathe, keep it lifting, almost there. Good job, and down onto both knees. And for this last section, you're going to need a ball of some sort. You can use a tennis ball, you can use a ball hockey ball. I have a lacrosse ball. It's kind of a lot denser, which means it's more intense. But what I often suggest to people is they start with a tennis ball that's a little softer and work their way up to the lacrosse ball. But what we're going to do is we're going to open up the hips using this ball, okay? So we're going to start with the hamstrings. And usually what happens is we get hamstring pain really high up in towards the hip. Think of the crease of your butt. And you're going to place the ball right in that crease. So it's not on the hip bone, it's just in front of the hip bone. And then you're going to straighten the leg, and then you're going to rock a little bit side to side. You'll feel the hamstring there, it'll feel a little bit ropey. Good. And what you're going to do is bend the other leg, so we're just focusing on the one hamstring. The ball is sitting on that ropey part of the hamstring, and we're just going to push ourselves a little bit forward. So not only are we stretching the hamstring, but we're stretching that high part where the hamstring inserts into the pelvis. Feels like a little bit of torture, but good torture. And you want to hold your stretches for at least 60 seconds, because what happens is when you stretch a muscle, it responds by contracting, and you have to just give it that time to let that automatic response of the muscle to relax. So now we'll switch to the other side. So again, finding that butt crease area, sitting back down on the ball, straightening the left leg, bending the right leg, and then rocking from side to side so you can feel where the hamstring is. And then from there, pushing forward. And of course, breathe. When we hold our breath, that restricts the flow of that oxygen to our muscles, and they respond by contracting. And then there's the stretch reflex that I just talked about. So breathing and just holding the stretch. And as the muscle relaxes, you can just gently extend a little bit more. Good, and relax. The other thing we're going to do with the therapy ball is use the therapy ball to work on our glutes. Typically with endurance athletes, our hip flexors are tight, our glutes are weak, but also tight. So we're going to just sit the ball down underneath our butt area and kind of roll over on it, and then start to move in a circular motion, trying to get all those little parts of the gluteus maximus muscle. And if you find any parts that are particularly painful, just sit there for a moment, let the ball sink into the muscle and allow it to release. because pain equals tension. So if it's painful, it's tight. And if one side is more painful than the other side, then one side is tighter than the other side. Good, and then continue to move around, getting all those little tight, painful spots. Good. A little bit more. Should feel good in a torturous sort of way. And now let's switch over to the other side. So flipping over onto that side, starting to roll around in a circular motion, and then pausing on the spots that feel tight and painful. Letting the ball sink in, letting the ball do its work, stretching out those muscles. Make sure you breathe. Moving when you feel it's necessary to do so, finding a new spot, and then just hanging out there. Keep breathing. Excellent work. Good, and then come up. Okay, we're going to do one more release using the therapy ball. I want you to flip over onto your stomach, and actually you can use 2 balls if you have 2. And what we want to do is we want to place them right on the hip creases and then lie on our stomach. If you only have one, we'll do one side at a time. Okay, so you're going to place that ball right underneath the hip crease. Lie on the stomach, prop yourself up on your forearms. And then you want to rock a little side to side, maybe a bit forward and back, just to find those tight hip flexors, and you'll find them. You'll know when you found them. So then, once you found them, just relax and try to lift the chest, let the hips sink, and let the ball do its work on opening and stretching those hip flexors. And continue to breathe. Again, should feel good in a torturous sort of way. A little bit longer, almost there. You can move around a little bit if you find that you need to. All right, and then come up and then just switch it to the other hip crease. And again, rock a little bit, forward and back, side to side until you feel the spot. You'll know when you feel it. And then just try to let the hips relax, but lift the chest, creating that extension in the front of your body. And just breathe. Adjust a little bit if you need to. And then try to relax into it again and breathe. A little bit longer. And notice if, again, one side feels different than the other. Is one side more painful than the other? All right, and then releasing the ball from underneath the hip. we'll finish off with one more child's pose. So bring your knees forward, knees right together, stretch the arms out in front, and fold forward. So I hope you enjoyed that quick, efficient little injury prevention session. If you have any questions at all on any of these exercises, don't hesitate to email me, Caron, C-A-R-O-N, @personalbest.ca. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.